the other question that I have, Adam, is, and this has come in a lot today and prior to this webinar, is how do I know if my product qualifies under the new rules of origin or if it qualifies for USMCA? Where do I start?
So, you know, the first place to start is actually getting a copy of the updated USMCA text. And you're going to have to start going back through, just like when you originally qualified these goods for NAFTA. You're going to need to go back through and make sure that you're now also qualifying these goods for USMCA. So depending on kind of where you've gone, but you still need to make sure that first you figure out what your tariff number is, because that's kind of where this whole thing starts, right? Is there a tariff shift requirement? Is there a value content requirement? Am I in the automotive section? Am I in the textile section? So there's a long ways to go once we first just get that tariff number, but that's really the easiest starting point, is to look at maybe that old NAFTA form and say, okay, this part was this tariff number. Now let's go to the USMCA text and that same tariff number and see if there's any changes to that specifically. And that's really the first place to start.
Okay, and Adam, what if we're new to importing? What would you suggest? And is it worth us going down the USMCA route? What are your suggestions there?
So if you're new to importing, you know, talk to someone, whether it's a broker, outside counsel, customs attorney, someone just to make sure that you understand where you're headed first. And so there's a lot of importers on this call that we work with that know these rules inside and out, and that's ultimately where you need to get to. However, we understand that customs isn't your core business, and so, you know, reach out to your partners inside of the supply chain. Reach out to your customs broker, and maybe they have some options to kind of help you work through this early on. If you have outside counsel, I would caution to make sure that if you're using outside counsel, they are customs-based counsel. Because if they're customs-based counsel, they're going to understand this a little bit better than traditional outside counsel. It's why when you go to outside counsel for one thing, a lot of times if you're going to do something different, they're going to refer you to someone else within their firm. So make sure if you are using outside counsel, I have some great friends who are really good customs attorneys, but at the end of the day, make sure that's what they are, if they're customs attorneys kind of going through this. So if you're first time to this, there's a lot to learn as far as, does my product qualify? Does it not? The assumption is also, though, if you're new, you might not be importing 30,000 different SKUs. You might only be importing one item or exporting one or two items. So because of that, the amount of work required obviously shrinks significantly just in the amount of items that you would need to qualify or decide not qualify.